Hey everybody. I really wish I can get my settings right. I've been streaming the wait screen for like 5 minutes while I just double check stuff, and my audio setting was wrong and all that stuff, and it was only on preview mode, not stream mode. I don't know why there's a preview mode. I have to press stream twice. Whatever. Oh. What a weird little bug stuff. Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. Let's do some crafting and painting. There it is. We gotta make a wash. So this is my old junky brown wash that I've been making and working with for a while. I think the music is a bit loud because it looks like the levels compete with my voice. I'll just speak louder. That's easier. Okay, well, everyone comes in and gets ready, gets going. Let's see how this goes. Hey, Kobe. Alright, so we got the chunky old brown. That is too brown and needs to be dirtied up with other colors and shades. Put some brown wash in there. Black wash. Really darken it up. Purple wash. Come on. Just squeeze that in there. That's empty. James! What's up, buddy? Putting together a wash here. Let me show you. I think the camera angle will work. This is a brown wash, kind of like a stain that likes to seek into the cracks to kind of create the shading of a piece. So I'm mixing in some purple, some black, some red, and then I'm gonna put in some light brown, really to get it ready for what we're gonna work on today. There's already water and soap in here, so it will sit just right. We don't actually need these. Great. What does it look like? Looks like brown. Too brown. Let's put some black in that. How's the music? Can you guys hear the music? I can never tell. I can never tell. I think I might be too quiet compared to the music. But I'll let you guys determine that for me. Let's see. Let's get the bridges out here. So this is what we're going to work on a bit today, are these like dungeon bridges. Pretty scattered terrain. I have a couple magnets in them to kind of help keep them locked in whenever I need them to be, especially if I want to have a nice gap piece here. But before we use the wash to really stain and darken and gunk this up, we need to put the mold and the moss, which I'm going to use Wizard's Orb. Yeah, so we're going to work on these bridges, get them a few steps ahead. I'm going to show you the results of my goop, aka the lava, and my desert rocks that I got to finally paint with the new desert paint. And I will also show you some of the 3D prints that came out for the windows for the houses we're building. All right. So the idea is that this has been built up. How well is the view? I think the camera could get in a better position. Boom. Whoa. Whoa. A little bit better. Whoa. Oh, I think that's a way better camera spot. You guys will be happy and proud of me. The update video for the channel is about halfway complete. I got the first draft of the edit done, and I'm just doing titles and B-roll. Yeah, this is meant to really look like it's plant life that grew, bump the mic, that grew upward. And I think it looks really nice. I think this looks very good. I got some that grows over onto the top. Yeah, I think all around this very quick paint job, but I got the green that I needed to get on here. Nothing feels too empty. My finger does take a bunch of the paint off. So let's just tap that back on. Great. Super simple. It's not meant to be this like decorative greenery. It's definitely meant to be an undertone. Like if we look at these stairs, the greenery is deep under all the gunk. It's almost meant to be like, what's the plant called? Kutsu? Ketsu? No, Kutsu. I think it's Kutsu. Where it's just vines that overgrow and bend and shape over things. Kind of think a little bit like that, and then mold. And if it's a little sloppy, that's okay. Because it has more of an organic vibe. As long as I don't put my finger on it. Let's put some in the middle. Right deep in here. There we go. It's basically gotta look like you found this in the jungle. That's what my brain thinks of on this phase. There we go. It almost looks right if I think a little bit of underlighting. Felipe! This turned out pretty good. Alright, then we got this guy, which is kind of the hardest to paint because it's just a flat stick. super easy to just hold on to all the paint when I grip around the body. So let's see if I can avoid that as much as possible. That'll do. Great. Now we're gonna let that dry while we look at some cool stuff that's working that I'm working on. That'll dry. So let's look at the goop. This is the lava goop, and you can see it's very glossy and shiny. That has to do with the Mod Podge. So we can also see. Let's see if I can get it just right. Okay, there you go. You can see the ripple effects that I put on there. So it's about 2 layers of Mod Podge. Got some ripple effects right there, and you can kinda see I put some horizontal ripple effects. Very subtle. But the whole point of that is to give it shape so I can try to dry brush on top of this. Because this is just the base coloring, the hotness. And now we're going to put the cooling layer on top. I love how shiny it is compared to the rock. It gives it some life. Then I got because I got these water-based primers for foam. I was able to prime some of the desert rocks. You can still see some of the red underlayering prime kind of come through in some spots. There, that's a good spot. It's so big. There we go. It's very underlit red, so it's very subtle, and I gotta make that subtlety blend better. But this is a good start for desert rock. Then, 3D printing wise, the windows came in. Where is the wall that's ready for a window? Okay, so this wall is going to have to be redone because it is not to scale. That is a little off. Just a bit. But the intent is to have the other side look a little bit more like this. So I just have to redo this whole thing and just essentially use these windows as a template. Does it look right if it was... You tell me, guys. Would it look right if it's a vertical window? Or a horizontal window? You tell me. That's set. Okay, looking at the old... I Looking at my old desert piece, we have that brown, that desert brown that's on the rocks currently. And then we have this, which is more of an orange than a red, which I use dry rust. So I want to get that on there. What are you saying, the window aesthetic overall doesn't fit? So keep this reference in mind. There we go. Now I can see it. Yeah. Yep, it was a... Hopefully the windows were going to be printed at the right scale to fit the wall. Thankfully I only did one of those walls, and so that wall is a prototype. Which means I can take that wall as is and do a paint job on it, and we can have a better understanding of what it's going to look like. So the gradient of the sand rocks is that the bottom is more of an orange, and it gets pulled up into the what are we going to call this? The mustard. Dude, congrats on the short film. I hope you have a great time at the screening. Thank you for checking in. I'll see you on the next one. So what it feels like I have to do here is have the bottom one the bottom layer just pretty much orange. And then I just brush upward to get a more gradient look from there. Cool. And then some spots will have red pop out, which I think is okay. I think that's a cool little subtle variant. But if I stack these together, ooh, that's looking nice. because now you can appreciate the layers and the height. This has a lot of red on it, so that's an interesting look. Which is natural in deserts, is to have all those different minerals. Let's get some minis out of the way so I can show you what I'm doing. These things are getting bigger and bigger. I like that. Doing that base layer of red really gave it a nice, like, ugly look. I really like that. I think there's a little too much red left over, but I can patch that up. Let's see. It'll get patched up while we do all the different layers, so I'm not worried. Okay, this big piece, I'm not going to be able to like paint it just right because everything's in the way. So, apologies. I'll do my best. Did the camera begin to flicker? Yeah, so it's just really that gradient look from the base up. And then we have this like aesthetic of stacking desert rocks on top of it itself. And it really looks nice. Like you can see, yes, it's obvious, oh, those are stacked on top. But you feel like it's not just one color all the way up. And you can see a pattern, which is very pleasant to the eye. What up, everybody? If you're just joining in, we're painting some desert rocks and some jungle-esque dungeon bridges. Adding a little bit of an orange gradient to the bottom of the rocks. I see a little, but it's pretty strong. And this is not even the final layer, so it's going to get even cooler. Nice, relaxing stream. It's hard to paint in the right position for the camera on this big of a model. Cool. So the effect is very much this. I really love this look. So if I take the other rocks, look at that. Tyler, look at that, that feeling of warmth and heat and deserty. This is a great start. So originally we had the foam, we carved out the sides, we put black pepper powder on the top to get this like rough texture at the top. Primed it with black and Mod Podge, and then I primed it with bright, vibrant red. And you can still see some of the red coming through, especially if I start leaning it upward a little bit. And then I spray painted it with this new water-based, non-toxic primer meant just for foams. Oh no, the magnets. And now adding the orange base layer, looking great. This is an old desert rock that I made a while ago, and I'm trying to semi-replicate the aesthetic, because I really like this look for a desert. While on the flip side, we have these volcanic rocks that need work. We got that lava goop, just like the title promises. How's it going? It's going pretty well, man. I'm making rocks. And I'm shooting and editing a lot of videos. Let's get these guys. Do I want to pull out yellow right now? No, I want to get back to these bridges. Stay on the task, Carmichael. Yeah, I'm shooting and editing a lot of like solo talking videos, and I'm getting them lined up for release, which is a great feeling because I'm locking down scripts, locking down the shooting, adding some fun bits, not rushing myself, and really putting effort into the thumbnails in the sense of like, oh, versus like every normal YouTube video where it's like, oh, what's going to be the thumbnail for this? I have a whole process set up. I think about the thumbnail ahead of time, which is a great feeling. I do a draft of the script, I redo the thumbnail and title, I redo a draft of the script, and then I go shoot it, and then I come back, edit it, and make the thumbnail match what exists, which is a great process. I am really enjoying that process. So yeah, I'm working hard, grinding, and having fun. Okay, so let's get some of these rocks out of the way so nothing gets damaged. Because now we're going to play with this messy ass wash. It's still too brown. Could be more blue. Put some purple. No, let's straight up put some blue in there. This bottle. What color is this? Blue? Great. Yeah, I got an update video on the way, and then I got dude, I have so much editing. I'm literally spending the month just editing and making videos. In a way that I normally don't, so that way I'm all set versus chasing views. So I think chasing views is what like drains me. It's like chasing something that I have no control over. I guess I don't have the best angle. Hang on. Do 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 do.
David,
Yeah.
full screen on.
Yep. I know.
Oh,
Nope. I just I removed the camera so I can go into the settings. There we go. It's not as wide, but you can see what I'm doing. This is not a good brush for what I'm doing. Tyler says hi.
hi, Tyler. I guess they can kind of hear me.
So yeah, I'm using this wash to get right in the cracks, make it muddy, and then also stain it and age it. It's on its way. Just let's take a look at one of those closer to final versions. That's what it's going to become. I think the yellow, because this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the yellow ones. The yellow and green. I think the yellow and the green match really well. Which is good, because they're painted so far apart. Curse of Amity Island is so good. Thank you, man. The next episode comes out this weekend. With an uncut for backers this week. Woo! Took a long time to export. Well, so many exporting errors. But yeah, I think the next episode of Curse of Amity Island is the best episode yet. Which is good. I like that each episode, you know, story-wise, editing-wise, design-wise, just keeps getting better and better. It's what you want. Doing this pass looks so good. You know, there's some mistakes learned along the way, like sound design wise, or some editing, not issues, but like bumps and like happy accidents. So yeah, and Allie has helped me as well in like making sure, you know, I have to get the edit done soon enough so that way we can review it. And we review it, we make notes, because traditionally it's just like I edit it and get it out. When we actually spend the time to review our work and critique it so we're happy with it when it goes out, it's a really good feeling. The next episode, oh, I'm so happy with some of the sound design and some of the editing choices. So how have you been, Tyler? What have you been working on? There we go. Working on new house design? Nice. Is it another project from work or like a new client? Or is it the personal project? Ah. Ooh, personal client. Even more fun. More fun than a corporate client. Well, those are fun. Different types of fun and different levels of fun, I expect, but still fun. Because they're all small little problems that you're solving, and that's super rewarding when you are able to solve a problem and that problem helps others. Hey, we fixed your halls. We fixed your basement. Here's the design. That's a great feeling. When did you start getting into architecture? Yeah. Did you start, like, interested in building houses when you were young? Start in, like, doing carpentry work when you were a kid? You allow 3D work, which is fun, but there's something satisfying about creating a tangible, livable space for people. Oh, super satisfying. I went to school for it, but became interested in house things when in elementary school. There it is. That early investment. I think one of the hardest things for me is my early investment as a kid was learning how to write scripts, learning how to write, not just write, learning how to shoot cameras and be behind the camera, but not like today where we're encouraged to film ourselves, which is a whole nother skill, is trying to adapt my skills to the changing landscape without I guess picking up tool sets that are not relevant for what I do. Like, it's not necessary for the types of videos I make and the types of stories I tell. It's not entirely relevant for me to pick up hardcore VFX, right? Though, if I did, I would be telling completely different stories. I think that's kind of the hard thing for me at the moment, is like balancing out what skills do I want to learn more of and what projects do I want to make, and how do those skills help? And if they don't, even if there's a demand for those skills, is it worth for my time to learn those for the things I want to make? And then I see everyone who does take some certain skills that I say no to, and then they get really well-paying jobs, and I'm like, well, am I content with my choices? Because FOMO's real. But then they come around and tell me how jealous they are that I invested in a different skill, which is like, man, the grass is really greener for everybody. Do you have any interest in actually building houses? Like, sorry, that's not a real sentence because you do build houses. Yeah, yeah, rather than just designing, have you thought about designing and constructing the house? So I feel like, one, that's a massive project, but also that's a really cool project. And I feel like you would learn things that you don't expect to learn by doing the whole thing. So yeah, that's close to that. You're definitely, especially if you and your buddy work together on that, you're very familiar with the financial and material and energy economics when it comes to the building part, which I would imagine changes how you think when going into design, because now you're thinking material costs and time and energy that goes into making it, and you can start wiggling and be more flexible to ideas. This is purely spectacle on my end. The bridges look dirty as heck. Love it. Thanks for stopping by, Chance. I started streaming at 10 a.m. my time, so like an hour ago. Is that too early for everybody? Let me know. If you're watching on the VOD, let me know. What time of day would you prefer if you're watching on VOD? Let me know in the comments below. Like, is it after work, mid work, before work? Let me know. Trying to lock in that time schedule. Perfect for me. All right, the bridges are all set. Let them dry. Right there. Just looking at the bridges and the stairs all come together. I'm so excited for this dungeon set. I'm terrified of the point when I have to like work on the platforms, because the platforms gonna take a long time. Hopefully I can learn something from making these houses. What was I gonna work on next? The desert rocks. What colors do I have out? That's an important concept. Let's look at the desert rocks. So we have the mustard yellow in the middle. We got that orange down below. And up top, it doesn't look like it's a different... I do see two different shades of dry brushing here. I got more of a yellow in here, and then I got that sandy, crusty look. So I will dry brush the desert rocks. Start with the little guy, and we'll use some elven flesh. It's kind of an off yellow. Get a different brush. Different brush. That brush is dead. That brush is almost dead. This brush is almost just right. Can wake it up a bit. All right. If I ever want to design a studio, 100%. right now, can't. Once I have a studio space, absolutely. Let's design something, make it super sick, fit the table, give depth behind here, maybe fit, you know, some 50-inch TVs in the background, hidden behind some cool structures like fantasy windows. That'd be cool. And then I can change what's on those windows every time when we go to a new place. Got paint in my eye. Design a rigging, the right rigging for all the lighting. Oh. Okay, so we're just gonna go down because it's meant to be lighting. Hey, eyeball. Oh, I got something in my eye. I think it's good enough. All right. We just want to go downward. And it's meant to just give a nice soft yellow highlight. Now let's compare that to one that's not dry brushed. Ooh, you can see a difference. That's great. Now I'm gonna go over the top grain and get that going for the lighter top. But surprisingly, for a decent cost, there you go. You can see the rocky grain a little bit better, especially when in comparison. Yeah, look at the difference there. Big difference. Yeah, especially when I was looking. I can't afford it yet, but there are studio spaces near the area that are, they're pricey, but they're pretty cheap for Los Angeles. And I was like, wow, that's a really fair goal to aim for. And then move all the D&D stuff out of the apartment and bring it to the studio. And that would be sick. I'm happy. Am I happy? Can I ever be happy? There we go. That's the big question, right, guys? Can I ever be happy? Can any of us ever truly be happy? Hey, welcome to the stream where we paint items, paint things, and talk exponential, extraterrestrial, philosophical dread. How big of a room for the main set you need? I would say the table itself it's a triangle, but if I imagine with empty space around the edges, so I just turn it into a big square and the triangle's inside the square. The square for the table is 8 foot by 8 foot, so that has to be in the middle of the shooting space. Then I would say 5 feet outward from that is walking and gear. And then to have depth, you need another 5 feet out from there. So we're looking at 18 feet. Right? Or am I? No, I'm cutting things in half. 4, 9, 18 by 18, 20, 36. So 36, so you want room for construction and fitting walls and electronics and safety walking. So a 40 foot by 40 foot space. That would be just the filming location. It has nothing to do with editing or anything else. Lounging, reviewing. That's solely... Did I get green paint on this? I did. There we go. Right now I'm working with... So the ideal, to get a good depth, that's where all that extra space comes in. Right now we're dealing with, because the first half of Curse of Amity Island, we had a lot of depth. And that is 5 to, it was around 6 to 10 feet behind players each. So, that's good to be aware of. What is that, 400 square foot room? Yeah. No, that's a 40 foot by 40 foot. That's not 400 square feet. 400 square feet is 20 foot by 20 foot. 20 foot by 20 foot is like the bare minimum, I would argue. So 40 foot by 40 foot, that's 1,200 square feet. That's too big. I think that's too big. No, that's 1,600. Jesus, it's way too big. An open floor plan of 800 square feet would probably be just right. What is that? $20 foot was too short. So we would want at least 25 to 30. That would be like squishing. So having 40 foot would be ideal. 40 foot by 20 foot? Okay. Yeah, I would say that's okay. 40 foot long, which would go behind the players. And no, because we're shooting at cross angles. 30 by 30, which would be around 900 square feet. So that's plenty of safety walking. Yeah, I guess, the ideal setup would be 40 foot by 40 foot. And I think the smallest I would be able to go is 30 foot by 30 foot. If it came down to like, hey, we have the space and we're designing some dream setup. That would be the gaming table setup space. Look at these guys. These are looking good. Look at those highlights. So I'm imagining putting a wall in the far back behind everybody. Like this is the direction. Here, let's imagine cool shit. If this is the direction you're looking at a player, right? These lights are too close. These lights should probably be another couple feet out. So we want... This is just walking. This is all just walking. That's about 3 foot right behind the table. So if we had 5 feet behind the table, come on camera, focus on me. 5 foot behind the table, that'd be pretty good. And then another 5 feet for the background, because those are 2 different lighting zones. Every 4 to 5 feet is a lighting zone where you can control the lighting. Come on. So yeah, behind the table is 10 feet. And then at that back end, we put a fake wall, with a window in there mounted with a TV. And the TV is not up against the wall. The TV would be 6 inches to 12 inches off the wall. So that way you could edge light the window edges, and then the TV can pop against that. If that's too much, we can get as close as we want, and we sacrifice some stuff, and we paint lighting to make it blend right. Also, because of lighting zones and the inverse square law, having the background wall further away means the key light for the players and the talent affect the background far less, which means you can paint the background with more colors and lighting. This is what I know. I also, on this stream, what I want to do is craft a Dungeon Master screen. It requires a bit of a budget, more than anything else I've worked on here. But I want to craft a GM screen with a monitor built in. Hey, you send me that mock-up and I would happily drool over it. That's okay. I rubbed it out just right. Oh wow, you really can see the grains now. Here, I only have one more piece left that we can compare it to. Oh, that's like jumping from Toy Story 2, Toy Story 1 to Toy Story 2 quality. Wow. Thank you, Fresh. You want to see some really cool edging? We got our magma rocks that we got to work on over the next stream. So there's a lot of detail going into that one. All right, this is a big model. Going to be hard to hold. If I can do this action on camera. That just XPS? Yes, it is. And to prime it, I actually used a spray paint, the new water-based one from Army Paint. Not sponsored, just I'm really impressed that I was able to spray paint my primer. Like, the whole reason I got it was because I have these floors out of XPS that I'm working on, and priming this, as you could tell, would be a pain in the butt for the brush. Just like these guys. This is all XPS as well. Individual bricks laid into stairs. Right. These ones specifically are water-based, non-toxic. Literally on the cover of the bottle it says 4 XPS foam, styrofoam, MDF, and fiberboard. And it doesn't melt. Sorry, yeah, I got quieter because I had to move the microphone to paint this, and I totally forgot I moved the microphone.
Still broken. Put it back in.
There we go. Fresh, do you work with, what do you craft? What do you work on? Inspire me. I want ideas so that way I can never stop making stuff. That's fair. Having the time and the space is a biggie. If you're wondering what the title meant for Goop, by the way. I've backed all the dungeon and laser Kickstarters, so I have to work through all of those on the holiday break. Ooh, that's a good feeling. Building up that to-do list. Yeah, I've come to love, like, the handmade look. That's why for these stairs and these bridges, I cut the foam for all the bricks and glued them all on. It's like, I want that aesthetic of, clearly this was made by hand. What's a good angle for this GoPro? Right here. So yeah, these are two pieces glued together. I have the seam line. I didn't cover it up that well. and then all the texture that's on top of all these rocks that I'm making, it's actually just black pepper. That's looking pretty good, guys. You know, looking at it, I should make sure I get some of that yellow dry brush on the tips of the orange bottoms. Ooh, yeah. What OSR leagues? Is it a OSR leagues? My mind thinks you're playing not a video game, but OSRs, and just playing a lot of little tournaments or small adventures. Oh. See, if you were doing tabletop, I would have imagined old school Renaissance or old school rules. Man, RuneScape's is RuneScape still is it server based? Or is it local? Because I feel like it's old enough to be local. Do a kickflip. The table's in the way. I'm sorry, Anthony. Ah. Here, let me roll for acrobatics to see if I could do a kickflip, even though I can't do a kickflip. Oh, right in the paint. I'm gonna consider that a natural one. That's funny. Got some stained dice. Thanks for mixing it up. I can rely on you guys. Yeah, it's a server? Okay. Cool. We got these pieces pretty much done for now. We still got to put the final highlight on them too. It's just such a big piece, guys. It's easier to just shoot it this way. Lucky feet? Dang it. That means I get to re-roll. I got a 15 on my acrobatics. Do I do a kickflip? Or a back kick? No, I just switched. Because it's such a big piece. When they started leagues about a month ago, the player base jumped to 200K. Oh, dang. Vex Media. I think that's Alex DeVecchio right there. What's going on, Alex? Why aren't you hanging out with us more often? Why you gotta be so secluded Is it our problem that the Vecchio doesn't hang out with us? Are we the bad guys? All right. Here, let me show you the dry brush effect. So we got a lot of, if the vibe is that there's heat and layers of different minerals stacked on top, and then the sand builds up on top of it. And that's desert rocks. We still have a much, much lighter pass to add to it. If I look at my reference rock that I made like a long time ago, I still need to add this dusty, arid color on top. But this looks sick, right? You haven't had your notifications turned on? What are you, a human being? Gosh. Dude, guys, I'm so happy with this and how it turned out. Alright, so we're gonna mess around with this. When we look up magma and lava references, I have a little bit more room. I have a bigger table. When we look at lava references, everything is stacked in layers, right? So this is just the first layer of painting with Mod Podge put on top of it to give it that protective seal, but also those ripples and waves that you can see if I aim at the light just right. There they are. And the base is meant to be the hottest point, illuminating upward. Can it be illuminated from the bottom? Technically, yes. It has to be a really strong light to get through all this paint, though. Here, I'll take this light and do a test. And the goal is to actually have this effect happen inside all these rocks for the magma rocks. So yeah, it's pretty tough. What's the percentage on this light? 30? Let's go to 100 and see if it's doable. I mean, it's kind of cool. I think it's because my paint is so thick and there's multiple layers. But yeah, it originally started as a prototype of like, do I want to do lighting from underneath? I don't have the right lights to do it. And then because I didn't have the lights on me, I was like, well, I'm gonna practice painting it and seeing what that effect is. And then in the future, on the next one, I will experiment with trying to get lighting to work. I just need to buy the lights. And the lights are like 20 bucks, which are cheap, but it's still 20 bucks for just lights to experiment with. All right, so when I think of magma, I have a lot of yellow. The edging is meant to be a lot cooler, and we even have some brown red going on the rocks to simulate that glow. Right, but right now it's very much mustard on ketchup. So my thinking is, now that I have the layer on top, I think when I think of references, we get a nice orange coolant on top. Like the air is just softening the heat just enough. And that's kind of an effect that I'm interested in. So I'm going to take some of this orange, bump the microphone, and then try to catch these ripples like a dry brush. Because it would be cool at some spots to actually add that black crust. Yeah. But we gotta work that way up. Some layers. Dry brushing almost too much. Dang. There, went a little bit more wet on the paint. We can see. Let me give you a macro lens. You can see the orange. It's a bit more faded on camera than it is in real life. In real life, it does blend a little bit more than it looks. But it's actually super helpful having the red already underneath the Mod Podge. Because it really helps this blending look really good. Definitely doesn't look as bright as it used to. I'm also matting the shine. Curse that 8-bit color. I know, I need a 10-bit GoPro for streaming. So I crafted the ripples on the goop going down to be more horizontal cuts. Hopefully this catches. The beauty about doing big layer overhauls like this. Overhaul's not the right word. Big layers. Let's stick with that as the language. The beauty about doing big layers like this is in between you do the Mod Podge, and that protects the previous paint job, so you could just wash off the next one if it really isn't working. There we go. Ooh, yeah, that's starting to look like magma. Compare that to the mustard right here, to that. This is very well blended in. Make sure you hit the like button. Should toss it out there. There we go. Gotta do that YouTube stuff, guys. Don't blame me. All right. Oh yeah, it looks so much more like lava. It's crazy. Okay, so these skinny ones are difficult. They were difficult just putting Mod Podge on them. Very difficult. We'll blurry. Let me come closer since I gave you guys a macro lens. Oh, the glowing looks so nice. Alex, what is the incandescent? I think that's the word. What tungsten technology is based off of? It's heating the core, letting it illuminate outward. Got that cheese vibe. Hey, I'll take cheese over mustard and ketchup. Incandescent. Thank you. I remember the day I learned incandescent didn't just mean film lights, and it was actually a scientific word that described how most heating objects to create light. Yeah, that I was like, well, I'm gonna use that word more often because that's the right way to describe that. Let's thicken up some of these layers, or these lines, I should say. Emitting light as a result of being heated. Yep, that's the right way to describe it. Oh, this is looking good. Sam Kent, welcome to the stream. Man, the Mod Podge with the ripples to catch that dry brushing on top, so worth it. Dude, this looks so good. And it's not even done! Alright. So what we want now is... I think black, because we can see some of the red underneath, and that's okay. So do I have black? I got a big old bottle of black. Let's see if I can have a small bottle. Nope, just an already opened big bottle. Whoops. I had an itch. I just had an itch in my ear, but it felt like an earbud itch. So I went to go touch the earbud to turn it off, and there was no earbud, and I was like, "What's going on?" Yeah, let's just appreciate some of the ripple work here that I did. Yeah, so to make these your own, make some of these of your own, the goops, as I call them, goop rocks. It's XPS foam. You just make your rocks as you would make any rocks. You know, you can make as many as you want. You want some type of dip in the middle. Hey, twin! Either in the middle, you can use a heat gun to kind of like crush the foam, or you can do what I did is dig it out. Either way, when I digged it out, I put baking paper in here, and then I put the whole thing on baking paper, and then the goop itself is just melted hot glue. I centered it and made the shape I wanted, and then I worked carefully to get the pour over. And because it's all on baking paper, I can get these puddles on the ends all nice and clean. So yeah, that's how you make goop. Hot, melted, hot glue. I was really impressed with this. Alex, you have a good rest of your day. Stay safe. Okay, so now we got the orange crust. Now that it's like cooling, we want to get some black crust. I don't know, I'm just telling him to stay safe. We want it on the coolest parts. Let me look up a reference shot super quick. I'm not going to be able to see chat, so feel free to say whatever you want as long as it's not a naughty word. Let's see. Lava. I can't even see what you guys see. Image. Dude, lava looks so cool. Oh, that's interesting. Some lava, the yellow is on the edges because that's why this doesn't look right. Interesting. So I should do a yellow highlight on top of this red. Okay, cool. Camels have 3 eyelids. Uh-oh, I just dropped a rock. We're good. All right. So we want some yellow. That's not right. I need yellow. I think I should paint, because it's looking like off the references. Because magma flows, some of the hottest points are the edges, not necessarily the center. But this is not a river. And that's mostly what I see is the rivers look like this. When I look at... Ooh, I see some examples of falling goop. The brightest points are at the top while everything else gets oranger. It's good to know. Oh, that's a perfect goop example. Okay. Dude, I'm finding some perfect goops. Okay. Yeah, the heat goes where the flow is. So I'm going to paint black on this and then go back with adding the yellow heat spots on top just to help it match. So if the lava is, let me take off this macro. If the lava is coming out from dead center like a fountain, the heat would be here, right? But because it's the top, it would also get crusted. And then the core of the heat would actually be seen right on these rivers. So right here on the bends would be hot points. So I gotta make sure those go yellow again. And then around these edges, because none of it is actually pouring over, it's actually coming to a stopping point, those would get crusted over. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of lighting on the edges, but if it's not moving, it would be locked up. If I was to make a lava river, which would be a really cool build, guys, make sure you subscribe and I'll make one. And if I did a river, the glow would be on the edges. So. And science made smart. What do we do when the scientists and the artists agree? Do we panic? No. We applaud. Look at that, guys. It's all instantly already coming to life. Oh, guys, look at this. The work on doing the texturing on the ripples. Paying off. Okay, so this would be a hot point right here because the flow is strongest, and I'm going to have to touch up that. And then it would cool down by the bottom, and it would cool by the split a little bit. So I'm going to kind of just do a lot of it, and then I'm going to work my way backwards some. See if I can give you guys a close-up look while I do this. As I bump the microphone, as always. Remember, you guys aren't seeing exactly the same colors and details as I am because of the camera, but Because it's flowing, it would be black more on the edges. This is going to have to get a pass where the yellow and the orange go back on top, just to get it right. There we go. These guys are going to be so difficult. All right. That looks really nice right there. That little puddle. I press a little bit harder, and I'm putting the black where it's not necessarily supposed to be, and I can touch that up just to get where I need it to be. Flowing. These are flows. Let me adjust this one. Okay. Actually, this doesn't need that much adjustment down here, because with the others being black, we have really hot flow. Looking at some references. Because it's gooping over. Looking at the references. In a river, it would be darker on the inside than the edges. But because this is drooping over, not necessarily a river, oxygen hits it differently. It cools closer to the bottom as the middle rips and tears. Man, if you look at magma long enough, it doesn't look real. Oh, that's a good droop. Okay, I got it. I see. I got a good reference. So... So what we have... Because there's a little bit of a hill right here. Ooh, that's a lot of black. It's a bit thinned out right here. There we go. This is very wide, which means it would be cooler in the center. It's not enough surface area. And I will definitely do a light pass over this. So I am not getting it right. That's a lot of black. But that will do. Great. Now let's clean these up. It's ever changing, exactly. So let's grab yellow. I think I moved the yellow. Is it over here? All right. So now we're going to do some hardcore detail work. Dang it, my rock fell again. Alright, so I'll bring up the magma references I have. There we go. It's really just remembering when it is flowing, it is brighter on the edges. When it is fatter and slower, it is a lot cooler across the board. I love how a simple art, like painting, can teach you physics. It's like, it's why it's so important for art to be in schools. It's a fun way to teach science. This would be dry, but then this would be very bright. And then it would slow down. And then this would actually be pretty bright and then very warm. So we'll do that. We can paint it orange once that yellow dries. There we go. Here, this is actually pretty clean over here. It's a little sloppy around the edges. Especially something like this. The plan is not to use a light on this one. This is originally started as a prototype, and I'm more and more happy with it as just like a painted piece. I think if I wanted to do a light up version, I think the smart thing is hollow it out like I did, so a big piece of light can go here. Or battery. And you know those twinkle lights? Fill that up in here, and then have the twinkle lights go down where I want the lava to flow, and then put the glue to make the goop to follow that. I think that's the next level. But yeah, this originally just starts as a prototype. There we go. And then the middle is pretty good. I'm pretty satisfied with that. Okay, now let's grab some more of the orange. And the orange is really all about just glowing. The effect of the heat just glowing. We want to blend this crazy bright yellow in. thinking about it in my head. I'm not sure about the twinkle lights. Well, they don't have to flicker. They can be a constant light. But they're the types, I call them twinkle lights because they're perfect. They're like macro mini Christmas lights. I have a miniature I can grab in a second to show you what I'm seeing in my mind. More orange in this because it's such a bigger goop. See what I mean? Like, this is a prototype because I'm learning how to paint magma. There we go. Alright, so let's do some more crust. Now I have like slightly orange black, and so now putting some black on top would help very lightly. guys. Heart attack. There it is. Let's put it next to the yet-to-be lavanized magma rock. So my magma rocks, as you can see, I have the lighting effect going on the inside, and the goal is to do all that lava work in here with Mod Podge and all that beauty. Ooh. Look at that, guys. That looks like it's glowing. And I think one of the biggest things, especially right here, at this angle, we have the red-brown to help with the lighting around on the gray rock. And then we have, with the black dry brush, I underlit it with the orange, and that has a nice effect. Seeing the yellow, too much yellow around the black doesn't look right, even if I'm getting the inverse of where the coolest points and the hottest points are wrong. Seeing too much yellow around the black doesn't look right, except for up here where it's just like actively flooding upward. When we're around the black, we definitely want to see more orange.
Thank you.
So that's a good learning lesson from using this model. Because I'm used to like painting fire, and when painting fire, you got layers of red, orange, and yellow all mixed together, and then tips of black there, and it's okay to see them next to each other. With magma, it is very different. It is much more of a subtle job. But man, does that look good. Let's see if we can improve on this by taking one of these lava rocks. I'm gonna say this would probably be the last thing of the stream because I've been streaming for a couple hours. 2.5 hours? You know, that's a long time to stream. Looks like I did burn. I will say we did this, which is great. We worked on. Let me take this off. Sorry. We worked. Ooh, look at that shot, guys. Look at that magma. We worked on the magma in great detail. We had worked on the desert rock. We got their orange base with a first highlight of the sand on top. And this is already looking super pro. We'll wait till I get the next step on. Does it look okay if I put this magma on... Oh, it looks totally cool if I put this on desert as well. That's sick. Like, clearly it's different, but it blends well. That's cool. We worked on desert rock, we worked on magma, and we painted the underbelly moss and we stained our stone bridges for them to eventually match the insane dungeon pieces that I'm building. So we got a lot. It doesn't feel like a lot, but it is a lot. And then we took a look at the windows that are for the houses. The window wall that I had previously built is more of a prototype now because the window was printed at a different scale. That's okay. That means I get to my alarm. Oops. I just left my stream. There we go. What this means is I need to adjust the template that I'm using to cut the windows, which is great. But that also means I get to practice painting the wall before I get to the rest of the walls. Look at these. Oh man, imagine running a dungeon. There's a magma pool right there. We got a bridge right here. This goes a little off camera. That's okay. And we take this empty Khazad-dûm bridge. Oh, you know what? Because of the magnets. What if this is sitting in the middle and the Khazad-dûm bridge goes right over the magma? Oh, the magma's a little high. Let's take out the base piece. Oh, that's so cool. See, this is the setup, guys. The dwarfs climb up the stairs. They cross the bridge. But then, suddenly, if it's sudden, there we go, it falls. Oh man, guys, this is so good. Or it falls on a rock and it crushes into the rock, spewing out magma. Oh, that's so cool. So cool, guys. Oh, like having it in front of me is so cool. After so many hours putting every individual brick into the dungeons and the stairs and the bridges. Oh, every single brick cut by hand, glued back in, beaten up individually with tin foil. So satisfying. So cool. And they're scattered terrain, so that means they can just be used whenever and wherever. Alright, so what I'm going to work on before the next stream. Focus, fingers. Pull the focus to my face. There we go. So what I'm going to work on before the next stream is I'm going to do the blue passes on these bridges to match these guys. If you want to know what that is, go check out the previous stream VOD. Focus. And I go through the blue process quite heavily in the previous stream. And the stream before that. This magma is great. Fantastic. I'm happy. Next stream, questioning what to do next. I think the next stream I'm going to touch up the desert rocks a bit with the final layer of sand, and those would be done. So I think that's a smart move. I think next stream we will touch up the magma rocks a lot, getting them to catch up with this goop shot. Oh, look at the goop in this camera. The goop looks so good on this camera. I should have been showing you this. Oh,
You know your front camera's the best.
this camera is way better than the GoPro, guys. Support the channel so that way I can get another one of these cameras for the top down. Dang.
He doesn't like being the top down. You used to have it as your top down. But
Then we will be working on the blue effect on this. On the bridges, I'll do that between the streams. So they're all caught up. So the next time we work on these stone dungeon pieces, we're adding some of the final layers of gray and grime. And now that the windows are built, I'm gonna start cutting out some walls that fit the windows, and then we can I'll probably build one of these on stream with the window, so that way you can see it. I'll have a few built prior, so we can actually put some walls up and see how cool that will be. All right. Look forward for the channel update video that's coming. My hope is before the end of the week, but it's probably going to be like around Friday-ish. And then this Sunday, the next, and such a good episode, the next episode of Curse of Amity Island. You don't really need to start from the beginning to enjoy it. It's a really good piece from beginning to end. Yeah. And then on Tuesday, we'll do another stream. And I'll see you then, guys. Make sure to turn your notifications on for this channel, because I don't flood you guys with 10 videos a day. And have a great rest of your day, afternoon, evening, and of course, have a great night.
Good night. Good night. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good night. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good night.
good afternoon, good evening, good night. Good afternoon, good evening, good night. Good morning. Good morning.
Good night.
Case that don't see ya. See ya. See ya. Good afternoon, good evening, good night. Good morning. See ya. Good morning.
Good night.
Case that don't see ya. See ya. See ya. Good afternoon, good evening, good night.